have never used a fake book before, or any kinds of music books where you were going to look at the chord symbols before, you might want to start with something like this, Your First Fake Book, the Easy Standards Fake Book. There's a whole series of easy fake books, the Easy Fake Book, the Easy 70s, the Easy 80s, etc., as I said before. So those are a good place to start because they don't have too many chords, and they're all the songs in these books are written in the key of C, so there's limited black keys that you have to play in these. And you can find links to all these books on my website, upperhandspiano.com. Click at the top where it says resources, and you will see it will have a list of the songs in each book, and you can click on them if you'd like to order them on Amazon. So that's upperhandspiano.com, and then click at the top, the navigation bar, find resources, and you'll find these books. Okay, so I'm going to open up to Edelweiss. This is in Your First Fake Book. And also on my website, you will see these gadgets. I think I wrote at the top in the navigation bar something about gadget. So these are very cheap. They just cost a few dollars. And you put them in your book like this. Front, inside, inside, front. So the two outer tines are in the front, and the two inner tines are inside of your music. It really helps opening your books, including my books. Okay, so on page 48, we have Edelweiss. So in Edelweiss, we've got a C, G7, C, F, C, A minor, D minor, G7. So we've got some sevenths and some triads, minor triads, some major triads. We've got a D7, a G7. But I wanted to show you down here, we've got a slash chord that we haven't really encountered before, C/B flat. And now we know that a B flat is in a C7 chord, but in this case, in Edelweiss, they want the B flat to be at the bottom. That's why they use a slash. So they're saying C chord with a B flat at the bottom. And the reason why they want it at the bottom is because this has a descending bass line like this. That's just the end of Edelweiss. So we have this nice descending bass line, and then it finally resolves back up to C. So you've got a C. When you've got a letter to the right of the slash that's not in the triad, just throw it at the bottom like they're asking. So you can play a C with a B flat on the bottom. That's probably the fingering I would use. And then we've got an F chord /A. That is the first inversion of an F chord. So F comes on the top. So that's an F/A, which we learned in your slash chords video. And then now we've got an F minor chord with an A flat at the bottom. So that's the first inversion of an F minor chord. And then we've got a second inversion of a C chord. So that means 1, 2 inversions of a C chord. I'm going to bring it down there. And then a G7 and a C. So when we put it together, we've got have not watched my slash chord videos, you really need to do that. You need to know those as well as the chords that I'm introducing today. All right, so that's Edelweiss in Your First Fake Book. And now let's take a look at, okay, I'm going to open up Norah Jones. Now these are not easy or simplified at all. So these are a little bit more complicated. There's a lot of notes. There's a third line in here for a vocal line, which really makes things confusing. But anyway, I wanted to show you that in here you can see some of the chords we talked about. Here's a B flat major 7, and then it goes to a B flat 7, just the dominant. And here's an E flat, so that's just a triad, a 3-note. A G minor 7. So let's remember G, G minor. Now, the 7th note of a G scale is an F sharp, but for this G minor 7, you're going to flat that 7. The only time we have this is when it's a major 7. If it just says 7 or minor 7, that means you're going to flat that 7. Okay. Now over here we have the chord I was telling you about, F7 suspended. All right, so we know here's an F, here's a sus, or a suspended, and then the 7th, because it doesn't say major 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we know that it's a flatted 7. We just have to assume if it says 7, you flat the 7 unless it says MAJ 7. All right, so we've got a sus 7. All right, so that is the F suspended, F7 suspended, or it might say F sus 7. Either way. All right, over here we've got a D and a plus. The plus means augmented. So instead of a regular D triad, your 5th is a half a step up to the right. And remember, for an augmented triad, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps between each interval. So it's kind of like a double major. All right, here we've got another F7 suspended, E flat major 7, which we've already studied, E flat, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since it's MAJ 7, we're using the 7th note of the scale. And then once again, we've got a D augmented, so that's going to be like that. Now, you may not be ready for these books that are published by artists. They're not simplified. They've got all the chords that the artist actually wrote. And it may feel too complicated, but I just want to tell you about all of these chords just so that you know what they are and you can come back to this video and take a look. Okay, so I'm going to open up my Coldplay book. This is very popular amongst millennials, and even younger kids really like Coldplay a lot. Okay, so I wanted to show you this. This is some loose sheet music I got for Viva La Vida by Coldplay. And here we've got a C sus / G. Okay, so we know a C is here, a C suspended is here. Instead of the 3, we've got a 4. But they want the G at the bottom. All right, so like that. So in this case, they want you to play this chord with 2 hands, which you kind of have to. Okay, so that's a C sus over a G. So if you know these kind of building blocks, what a suspended is, what a slash chord is, you can kind of figure out how to put some of these crazy chords together. All right, now clocks just has some very normal chords that you're used to. E flat, B flat minor. That just means it's a B flat minor triad and it doesn't have any 7ths. And let's look on this page. Yep, no 7ths here. So these are all chords that you're going to pretty much understand. All right, and now let's take a look at something really tricky, and that is Phantom of the Opera, or anything from Broadway or film scores. These are all going to be really tricky. But in this case, Music of the Night, we see pretty standard chords. Now here's kind of an anomaly. We've got an A flat chord with a D flat in the bottom. Now a D flat is the 4th note of an A flat scale, but this is not an 11th because there's no 7th in here. We can only say 11 or 9 if it's a 7th chord, if it's including that flatted 7th in it. So for this one, he wants a D flat at the bottom. Now what are you going to do if you're playing with your right hand? And you want to play a D flat chord, an A flat with a D flat at the bottom, and then back to D flat. Well, you just have to kind of simplify it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an A flat chord, put the D flat on the bottom, and then I'm just going to maybe bring this E flat down here, and I may just drop this one and just go like this. Now if I play it down here, I'm going to run into my other hand, but I could do it like this. Very unwieldy though, so if I'm going to sing the melody, it's fine. Nighttime sharpens the sensation. But if I don't want to sing it and I want to play it, I can just bring my melody up here. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That's about all the chords in here. Let's see if there's anything on some other page. Okay, so all I ask of you, we've got some more of the chords that we talked about today. Here's a G flat 6. A G flat 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's a G flat chord, also known as an F sharp. And the 6th note is in E flat, so I can either play it like that, or I can just lift up my 5 and just play the 6. And we've got a D flat major 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a major 7th, so I'm going to play it like that. Now we've got a C flat, and that's because we're in this crazy key. Look at all these flats here. We're in the key of D flat. We've got 5 flats in this. So rather than calling this a B, we are calling it a C flat. I don't even want to get into why, but if you see C flat, just say to yourself, okay, C flat, I'm going to just think of this as a B chord, and you can play it like that. Okay, and now we've got a minor 7th, a B flat minor 7th, there's a B flat minor, and we know, because it doesn't say M-A-J, that this is a flatted 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th note of the B flat scale is A, but we're going to flat it, because if it doesn't say M-A-J, then we assume it's a flatted 7. Okay, and this has a lot of the other chords we've talked about. We've got a D flat / F, so that is the first inversion of a D flat chord. And then here's a crazy chord, an E flat minor 7 over A flat. So E flat, here's the major 7. Now we're going to flat it to make it an E flat 7, and now we're going to make it a minor. And he wants an A flat under it. How are we going to do that? Well, we just can't. We can't. So I might take down, if I'm playing something with my right hand, we just can't do that. I guess in this case, there's nothing going on there, so I could, or of course I can just follow their little ideas for an accompaniment. But if it was a fake book, it wouldn't even have that accompaniment. So we might say, well, how are we going to play that E flat minor 7th over A flat? And I would say, okay, just bring some of those notes down. I'm going to take this D flat, put it here. I could take this B flat down, put it here. And I can keep this G flat. Just too muddy, so I just might make it, I might do that. So I took some of those E flat minor 7th notes, and I didn't use this one, but I could take this one and put it over an A flat, because the A flat is not in the E flat minor. I just have to throw it at the bottom. He has a reason for wanting that A flat to be at the bottom. So I hope that's helpful to you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, either on my blog post or on my YouTube page underneath this video, and I will do the best that I can to answer it. If you write on the blog, then I can always give you another blog post to further explain things that you have questions about. So please leave any questions or comments on my blog, and I hope this was helpful for you and that you can go ahead and start constructing these chords and be able to expand the music that you can play. And the way to start with that is to practice your major scale so that you know what a seventh is, a fifth is, what is the sixth, what is the seven, what is the flatted seven, etc. So practice your scales and then get started on these chords little by little. It's going to come over time. You may have to watch this video many times to see what I'm actually talking about. I know when I'm studying French, I have to hear things multiple times before it starts to really penetrate in my brain. So be patient with yourself, be patient with the process, and keep watching the video until it starts to make sense. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I hope it's helpful. Bye.